morning everyone. Welcome in my online classroom. First of all, I would like to thank our honorable principal, Professor Sir Jafar Ali sir, gives his permission and advices to conduct the online classes. Students, I hope you all are well. Because of the COVID-19 breakout in the pandemic situation of the world, we are bound to staying at home, but it does not mean we can sit idle. We have to work for our next days. So I am here to take your online class. I hope you all will give attention to my class. Today I will take your class on fundamentals of management and also discuss the chapter 10 and last chapter controlling. Now the question is being discussed below. In the first question, what is controlling? And the second question, characteristics of controlling. And the third question, importance of controlling. And the last question, limitation or advantage of controlling. So the student business studies have much more skill and scope from those side. If you look out in practical side, then you have studied theoretical side. And the planning, organizing, directing, coordinating and controlling is the managerial function. And the control is a essential or important function of management. And the controlling is the basic managerial function. It is the process of ensuring the actual activities confined to planned activities. It is an essential function for all levels of management. Some definition of various scholars of management are mentioned below. George or Terry define controlling is determining what is being accomplished. That means evaluating the performance and if necessary applying correcting measures so that the performance that take place according to plan. Robert and Anthony define management control is the process by which managers assure that resources are obtained and used effectively and efficiently. J.L. Massey defined control is the process that measures current performance and guides it towards some predetermined goals. Professor Handy Fayol defined control consists in verifying whether everything occurs in conformity with the plan adopted. The instruction issue and the principle established it object to it find out the weakness or errors in order to rectify them and prevent it operating on everything, things, people and action. So control is an important process of ensuring the actual activities conform to plan activities. It is an essential function for all levels of management. It ensures the right things are done in the right manner at right time. Each and every organize set the goals. All activities are directed towards the goals. Controlling is defined as a measurement of actual performance and expected performance and taking corrective action. From the above definition and discussion, we can find the following characteristics, features of control. Control is continuous process. Control is managerial process. Control is forward looking. Control is closely linked with planning. Control helps in achieving standard. Control helps in minimizing cost. Control is an end process. From the above discussion, we can say that control is one of the managerial functions like planning, organizing, staffing, and directing. It is an important function because it helps to check the errors and to take the corrective action so that deviation from standards are minimized and stated goals of the organization are achieved in a desired manner. And the next question, characteristics of control. And the first characteristics, managerial function. And the second, continuous activity. And the third, forward looking. And the fourth characteristic, essence of control is action. And the fifth characteristic, control is both negative and positive. Both positive and negative. And the sixth characteristics, control is a circular movement. And the seven characteristics, control is needed at all levels. At all levels. Control is related to planning. And the nine, control is action oriented. Measuring the performance. And the last one, planning and control. This is the 11 characteristics of controlling. And the first one, managerial function, and the second, continuous activity, and the third, forward looking, fourth, essence of control is action, and the fifth characteristic, control is both positive and negative, and the sixth, control is a circular movement, and the seventh, control is needed at all levels, and the eighth, control is related to planning, and the ninth, control is action oriented, and the 10th, measuring the performance, and the last one, planning and control. Managerial function, and the first one, control is one of the managerial function. It is not only the function of chief executive, but it is the duty of every manager. A manager is responsible for whatever work is assigned to him. He has to control the performance of his subordinate for ensuring accomplishment of goals. Control is mainly the function of like organization, but manager may ask for data from staff personnel. So control is essential for all levels of managerial function. And the second characteristic is continuous activity. Control is important to the development of organizational activities and targeting and achievement goals. Control is regular exercise. It is not an activity in isolation. Once the control is withdrawn, so control is performed according to plan at all times. Control has to be exercised in all levels of management. And the next characteristics, forward looking. It is important characteristics of controlling. Forward looking past provide a base of determined control for future measures can be desired to control future activities only. A manager studies the past performance in order to find out the reasons for low results. A corrective action is then taken to ensure that the work is future is not adversely affected. And the next characteristic is essence of control is action. Control is always action oriented. It is the basic managerial function. It is the process of ensuring the actual activities confined to planning activities. It is an essential function for all levels of management. And the next point or characteristics, control is both positive and negative. The control process should be such that deviations are reported at the earliest. The deviation can be known only when actual performance is known. The manager cannot the past and should try to improve the work in future. If no such steps are controlled, encourage accepted performance and policies and discourage the non-plan action. So, control is both positive and negative. And the next characteristic is control is a circular movement. Control start with determining of object. These objects are the standard with such the comparison of work and evaluation of employees is made. On the basis of evaluation, the manager makes necessary adjustment and prepares new plans and decide new standard. So control is circular movement in the all levels of management. And the next characteristics, control is needed at all levels. It is important characteristics. Control is needed at all levels of management. Nature of control is different levels in the organization is different. Top management, while control, middle level management, control is related to execution of policy, and low level management, control is related to execution of activities. That is, control is all levels of management and properly maintaining, targeting and achievement goal. And the next point, control is related to planning. Control cannot be exercised without planning. Planning is the first function of management, while control is the last. First, the objective of set and then efforts the made by the whatever these are accomplishment or not whatever there is performance or things are not happening according to the plans, then corrective measures and immediately. So planning provides a base for controlling. And controlling is important in the planning, organizing, directing, coordinating and controlling. And the next characteristics, action oriented. Control is action and result oriented. Its main aim is to be take corrective action whatever performance is not as per the standard. If such corrective action is not taken immediately, the very purpose of control will be defected. So control is action and result oriented. And the next characteristics, measuring the performance of controlling. The control function involves measuring the past performance against pre-established standard, analyzing and correcting deviation as necessary. Action are taken for corrective of deviation through feedback mechanism, for adjusting plans and or programs, for modifying workloads and for re-existing of required resource. And the last characteristics, planning and control. It is important in these characteristics. Planning and control are so closely related to each other that they are often regarded as integrated function. Planning function provides the philosophy and benchmark within which managerial activities is regulated. The function of control concerns itself with the mission of ensuring what the plan is fact achieving effectively and efficiently. Finally, we can say that effective control provides for the overall success of organizational functions. Control is related to result because we assess program on the basis of result and take corrective action after finding out and deviation. And the next question, limitation of controlling. Limitation and disadvantage of controlling. And the first point, control over internal factors. Control over internal factors. And the second point, difficulty in determining standard. In determining standard. And the next point, difficulty in fixing individual responsibility. Individual and responsibility. And the next limitation, expensive process. Expensive process. Difficulty in setting quantitative standards. In setting quantitative standard. Quantitative standard. And the next point, no control on external factors. On external factors. Costly affairs. And the last one, costly affairs. That is the limitation of control. Control over internal factors, difficulty in determining standards, difficulty in fixing individual responsibility, expensive process, difficulty in setting quantitative standards, no control on external factors, And the last on costly affairs, that is the limitation of control. Now the limitation is being discussed below. In the first, control over only internal factors. An institution can control only its internal activities: production, sales, purchase, price, production cost, etc. Government policy, taxation system, behavior of consumer or custom, etc. That control is only internal factors. And the next point, difficulty in determining standard. As the indirect standard, like devotion of employees, dutifulness, loyalty, etc. Related standards are difficult to determine. Exercise of control in this field is therefore difficult. And the next limitation, difficulties in fixing individual responsibility. That is important limitation in the controlling. There are several works within the institution completed by more than one person. It becomes difficult to find out the responsible employees for the error commitment such error is made. The next point, difficulty in setting quantitative standard. That is the limitation of controlling. It becomes very difficult to compare the actual performance with the predetermined standard if these standards are not expressed in quantitative terms. This is especially in the areas of job satisfaction, human behavior, and employee morale. So, difficulties in setting quantitative standard. No control on external factors. That is important limitation in this question. An organization fails to have control on external factors like technological change, competition, government policies, change in the taste of consumer, etc. And the last limitation, control costly affair. That is important limitation in this question. Controlling involves a lot of expenditure, time and effort. It is costly affair. Management are required to ensure that the cost involved in installing and operating a control system should not be more than the benefit expected from it. From the above discussion, we can say that the control, that process of control is boon-like for the managers. It is used by his experienced, conscious, and prudent manager. At the end of my class, hope you all have enjoyed it. I am requesting you to stay at home and be safe.